Okay, so today I made a tutorial to kind of go along with a visual one I did earlier. This time video. It's a little different than the other one. I do a couple things a little differently. I'll share the link to the image in the description of this video, but basically this is a very simple tutorial about the very bare basics of shading really anything. So we're going to start with a sphere, since that's the easiest thing to kind of really get what you need from. And just, if you want to practice, just make a basic gray circle. Doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it's similar enough to shade in the way I'm about to do it if you've never done this before. And so now what I'm doing is I'm using, rather than the brushes to do the highlights and everything, I'm using the burn and dodge tool, so it darkens and lightens without me having to go and pick which color I want to put. And then now I have switched to using a brush so that I can go in and tweak things by hand, give it a little bit of texture, make it feel a little more organic. I'm zooming in and out to check and make sure it's still making sense. There's not too much of one thing or the other. So now I have marked my light source with those arrows, and what I'm doing is drawing lines to figure out where the shadow cast from the ball is going to be. And I added a little bit of reflection on the ground for fun, so it's like a reflective surface. Now I'm playing with the levels because I feel that the darkness wasn't quite dark enough, so I darkened the darkest parts of the ball a little bit. Now I am marking where the highlight is, where the light hits most directly, the shadow where the light hits least, the cast shadow from the object, and then the bounce light, which is the light that is bouncing off of the ground and back up at the bottom of the ball. If you remember to add the bounce light, that'll add a lot of life to your drawing. So now we're going to use it in a more applicable setting, so I'm going to draw a really quick headshot, just whatever I'm feeling. So sketching him, and this isn't anyone in particular, I just drawing whatever came to my head in that moment. So I started giving him some really anime hair, spikes everywhere. And then I'm using the same general light source as I did with the ball, so it still correlates a little bit easier and you can kind of tell what I'm doing. Now I'm lining it because didn't feel like going into the extra detail of doing a fully painterly image. This will make it a little bit faster for me. And now that the lines are more or less done, I make a new layer and I start to fill him with a flat gray that's just a little bit darker than the background gray that I'm using. I'm cleaning it up. And now I've selected it and I'm starting to lay in the hard shadows first. To really make a figure pop, you want to use both soft and hard shadows, but it's important to lay out your hard shadows first so you don't go a little too crazy with the soft shadows. You want to know generally what's getting the most light, what's getting not. Treat it more like a geometric surface than an organic one at first. Then you can go back in and start blending it a little more, making it feel a little softer, more like skin. In the hair, I'm just throwing down some really quick highlights to really show that it shines. I'm making sure the cast shadows stay solid and with a hard edge, like where the bangs are casting a shadow on his forehead, the shadow being cast by his nose, and the one under his chin. And there you can see where I'm pointing a little bit of bounce light. There's cast shadows. And there's some more of the form defining shadows where the light's not hitting, the highlights. And that's basically it. It's pretty simple. It's easy to learn. Just practice on basic shapes for a while and then you can start studying images to see where those things are. And hopefully this helps. Thanks for watching.